Plaintiff Brian Mead is suing his ex-girlfriend Michelle Palazzolo for an unpaid credit card bill. Brian says he broke up with the defendant after he discovered she was an internet prostitute. And then she stalked and harassed him and his new wife. However, Michelle denies prostituting and says she was just trying to meet people online. Michelle says the payment the plaintiff charged on his credit card was a Valentine's Day gift.
Brian Mead is suing his ex-girlfriend Michelle Palazzolo for an unpaid credit card bill. Brian, hit it.
I'm suing Michelle because I lent her money on my credit card in order to go towards a down payment for a car that she needed at the time.
Okay, so very simple. You lent her money on your credit card for down payment on a car. Who's this?
This is my wife, Monique.
He and I met as they were breaking up.
Come on
if
up.
That's okay. He and I met as they were.
What is your name again?
Monique.
Monique.
Mead.
Okay, Monique.
And Brian and I had met as they were dissolving their relationship.
How long did you date Brian, Michelle?
September of 05 to 06, April of 06. About that time.
September to April.
Yeah,
All right.
about 8 months.
You asked him for money?
Actually, he offered.
Go ahead, Brian. Did you offer?
I offered to lend her the money, yes, because she needed it for her car.
Okay, tell me about your relationship.
We met online, and that night we decided to go out for dinner. That very same night, she stayed over at the apartment.
Same night?
Same night. After that, she never left. She was staying over the apartment pretty much every night.
So would you go to work in the morning?
Yes.
And what would she do?
According to her, she was either looking for a job or she used to play a lot of volleyball, things like that. And the relationship started to go south when I realized that she was always on the computer. And every time I walk into the room, she would shut down the browsers. And so I became suspicious and I said, well, let me find out what's going on here. So I put a keystroke logging program on my computer.
What is that?
It's a program that allows you to see whatever's typed into the computer.
Keystroke
Logger.
logger.
Right.
Where do you get one of those?
You can download it from different websites. Just do a search engine for it and you can find it.
And it tells you whatever anybody does on your computer.
Right. You go into the program and tells you whatever anybody types in.
Even if, what if they type in like their own email and stuff and have their own password? Can you find out what they're emailing?
Everything.
If they use your computer?
Yeah.
How much does this thing cost?
It was a free download.
Free?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are in the state of Connecticut?
Yes.
And let's see, their surveillance and wiretapping statutes only deal with telephonic or telegraphic surveillance, so you're free on that one. Mm-hmm. All right. Did you know he was doing this?
No.
Okay. So you get this keystroke logger. What do you find out, Brian?
I find out that she has a ad on sugardaddy.com and an ad on Craigslist for sex for money. And I realized that she was an online call girl.
What a shock. The first day you met her online, she slept with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. At that time, things started to make a little bit more sense. But yeah.
So what did you do?
Shortly thereafter, I started to play. I found out about it, but I know she still owed me money. So I thinking if I... Tell
me about the money. That's what you're suing for. Talk to me.
Well, we went to the car dealership. She said that first of all, she said she needed a new car. I used to be a mechanic, so I helped fix her old car, and I knew the thing was getting ready to die. So we decided she needed a new car. And I tell her this is the kind of car I think you should get. From my experience, it lasts pretty long. So we go to the dealership, and she found out that she couldn't get good credit, and she got $3,000 down payment from somewhere, and she needed an additional $3,000. So I said, and also recently before that, her grandfather had passed away. And she told me that she was going to get a life insurance settlement from that. So I said, okay, if you can pay me back within a month or two, then I can put the $3,000 on my credit card. Not a big deal.
So you said pay me back within a month or two?
Yes.
Did you ask her to sign anything?
No.
All right, so the relationship at some point breaks up?
Yes.
Circumstances?
Right. I realized in the meantime I had met my current wife, and we decided to, that first of all, I knew what she was doing, and I realized that I probably wasn't going to get more money out of her, so I said, I got to end it. So I told her, I confronted her with what I found out. Of course, she denied it.
Did you say to her the first time you saw it, hey, Michelle, what's the deal here? You're hooking on my computer?
No, I did not.
Okay, so at some point she moves out.
Right. And then she began harassing, and my wife Monique knows a lot about that too.
Talk to me.
The first time that Brian and I had her removed from the premises of our home was June the 27th, and she was forcibly removed. Again, on July the 10th.
When you say forcibly removed, in other words, they
police
moved
were
her
called.
stuff out?
No, the police were called and removed her from the premises. She was no longer living with him.
So she had moved out?
That's correct.
Okay, let me go to Michelle. Now, just hang on to that, the June 27th incident.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, how did you meet Brian?
I met Brian in September of '05 on Yahoo Personals. And a couple months into the relationship, I found that he still had his Yahoo Personals account and several other accounts actually active still. So I just really wasn't sure where the relationship was going to go. And I didn't feel that the relationship was really that good. So around February and everything, I just decided that I think that I didn't want the relationship anymore. And I was looking for a date, but, you know, I don't know why he says that I was doing that.
The question that I have for you is, what did you do during the day when he went to
Basically,
work?
I was going to school part-time, and I was looking for a job. And actually, I was living with someone that was a friend of mine, and I just paid rent, and I rented a room.
All right.
And he
what about
started
the
to see
$3,000? Talk to me about the car.
I thought it was a gift. It was Valentine's Day. I thought, that's really nice of you. That's really nice of you.
So when he says that you agreed to pay him back within a month or so, he's lying.
Well, I was going to pay him back and everything, but, you know, time was going on, and I didn't go ahead and get my settlement, and I also didn't get a job right away, so it was a little bit difficult. I gave him some money out of my savings towards
much
some
do
of
you
the
think you gave
utility.
him?
I gave him $500 towards utilities.
Did she?
She gave me $500 towards the loan over time, but not towards utilities.
Well, he wasn't charging you for utilities.
I did it because I felt that I had to be nice.
So why utilities? Why not gas? Why not rent? Why not dry cleaning?
I gave him some money
Because the
that
money
I
was to
could.
pay back the car, that's why. But I digress. Talk to me about the June 27th. What happened?
On June the 27th, I had gotten to the point where I was tired of her showing up at our home. She would pound on the front door. She would call the house phone, call his cell phone, text
Saying what?
messaging.
She's pounding on the door. saying
She
what?
wants to come in. She wants to talk to him. She wants to get back together with him on many an occasion. She had actually taken her clothes off in front of him in the basement of our home, in the apartment when I wasn't there, trying to get him back.
Well, you weren't there, so that's hearsay. Did you tell her that?
Yes, I did.
Did she do that?
Yes.
Did you do that?
I don't remember that.
Common, huh? Well, all right. Do you have a police report or an order of
There's
protection?
a couple of police reports and an order of protection that was finally filed after we had her arrested. She was removed twice from the
Police reports
premises and
and
arrested on the
protect
third
order.
occasion after she had followed us to New Hampshire, went to his mother's house after we had left, and was saying things in front of his mother that was inappropriate.
Oh, tell me. Just tell me.
As I don't know the details of what she said
You weren't
in front
there?
of his mother. No, we actually had left his mother's and went to his sister's, but when
So
she
she shows
arrived
up at your mother's in Vermont?
in New Hampshire, yeah.
In New Hampshire.
And then that was 4 days after the second time we had her taken
Anybody
off
have
the
a rabbit in
premises.
this case? What are you doing, Michelle?
I just wanted to address the issues. I wanted to admit that he was lying to me the whole time. The whole time that he was actually seeing somebody and denying it.
All right. No contact. This is it, Michelle. You are not allowed to contact Brian Mead. Signed by the Connecticut court.
I wanted my stuff back and I wanted the truth.
Did you ever think that maybe if I talk to this woman, I'll get rid of her?
Oh, I
did
did.
several
Many
times.
You did.
times.
Okay. What about Mom? What did she say to Mom in New Hampshire?
She was just looking for me. She said she wanted to talk to me, as far as I know. I mean, I wasn't there for the conversation, so.
Neither one of
Did
us.
your mother call the police? Did you call the police?
No, I believe my mother just convinced her to leave. And what she did, but then she followed me to my sister's house. And I have no idea how she found out where my sister or my
So
or
what
my mother
happens
lived.
at your sister's house?
We had left because I said if she found out where my mother lives, she's probably going to find out where my sister lives. So we
What
just.
are you afraid of?
No, I did.
didn't
I'm
want a
not
confrontation.
one of confrontation.
So call a cop.
I think my sister said she was going to.
You know what, Michelle? You know what I think? I think that you really like this guy, but I think it got to the point of obsession. And I think it's not healthy. In fact, I think it can, as much as we find some humor in this, I think that it can be a very dangerous situation. I think that when you say I really did care about you. I believe that. I really think you did care about Brian. And the bottom line is, Michelle, that it didn't work out. It really just didn't work out, and that's just the way it is. You can't expect to meet somebody online, sleep with him the same night, and think you're going to marry the guy. Okay? It's just not going to happen. As hard as you try, and I'm not going to get into, the orders of protection, the harassment, the following him. I mean, this is dangerous stuff. And I would recommend to you, Brian, and to you, Monique, that if you see or hear hair or hide of this woman, you call the cops.
We will.
This is an obsession. All right. So the issue for the court is whether or not the defendant is liable to the plaintiff for breach of contract. The plaintiff says, look, I gave her $3,000 to buy a car. The defendant says, hey, it was Valentine's. He gave me a gift. It wasn't, I didn't have to pay him back. He says there's an agreement that she says she'd pay him back within a month, that she was going to get the money. She says, no, it's a gift. I say it's a contract. I say there's an agreement. You know why? Because she paid him back $500. What did she pay him $500 for? You weren't paying rent, electricity, food, or anything else. You're paying him money for the car. You may think that you're hooking online or whatever he's alleging or accusing you of doing, but he's not. This is not the agreement that you had with him, that you would sleep with him, in which case he'd give you $3,000. That wasn't the agreement. If you came in and told me that, I might believe you. I wouldn't enforce it because it's illegal. But at the same time, I believe he loaned you $3,000, and I think that you have harassed him. And I think at the end of the day, had he, tried to charge you with harassment, I would have held for him for harassment. You've got to leave this man and this woman alone. He's moved on. He's got another woman. You should do the same. So ordered.